Nothing like cutting some holes in a free box and creating a cat toy, at least for a day or two. We'll see if they're enamored with it or not. So we're watching Bjorn do a sound test in a this morning. That's pretty funny. And he was trying to say how he feels about driving a V8 over driving his, you know, Tesla or another electric car with instant torque. And I said that I would rather have a car that goes fast than to have a car that sounds like it's going to go fast. We've got a donation for Guardian Angel, so Johnny carried it out for me. It's a small one. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
You guys that watch the channel on a regular basis are no stranger to the fact that I like to shop at thrift stores, and particularly Guardian Angel, Fuquay, and Apex, which has a mission of nonprofit status for collecting money for Alzheimer's research and respite care, meaning give money to families so they can have a break and have a skilled caregiver to stay with a loved one for a small amount of time. Everybody needs a night off. So I don't have a family member where I had personal experience with that, but I certainly think that that's a very important mission based on the number of families that are touched by Alzheimer's. Where this is leading to is that I often don't talk about the clothes I buy at Guardian Angel because, well, I guess I figured that opened me up to getting possibly made fun of. So I just haven't mentioned it. But you know what? I really need to mention that both taking your clothes you're no longer wearing to the thrift store, as well as considering buying certain clothing items from the thrift store, is really important and something that I totally believe in. And so I thought I should spend a minute to mention it. So why do I think that it's important? Well, first off, right off the bat, it could save you money buying clothes there, right? I figure I can have 10 shirts at $3 a piece or one $30 shirt from the mall. I like variety. I'm going to go to the thrift store. The other easy low-picking thing to think about is that it keeps all of those clothes that would otherwise end up in the landfill out of the landfill. And as we all know, landfills filling up is a problem. It's just wasteful to throw stuff away. I know someone recently whose husband cleaned up and kind of decluttered the house a little bit and threw perfectly good donatable items into the trash can. And his wife talked about having to go rescue the stuff out of the trash can and then get it where it really should go, which is the thrift store. So please take things to the thrift store. Besides considering going in and actually buying something, because I know a lot of people drop off stuff, but then they don't go in. Some people never go. So I know most of you guys probably recycle your stuff, and maybe a few of you buy things realizing that it's better for the planet. So this may not be the best audience, but I wanted to go on record saying it anyway. Other reasons besides those two are that there are a lot of chemicals and water involved in the manufacturing of clothing. And using, water, clean, fresh water is not an unlimited resource. And we really need to be careful with chemicals, how many we use, what we put on our skin, that kind of thing. So if we can avoid additional manufacturing of clothes, I think that's good for the environment. CO2, chemicals, water, all of that good stuff. Also, maybe the employees that are exposed to some of that. Dahmer and I were watching a YouTube the other day where they were making clothes at a factory in Vietnam. I think clothes were coming from Vietnam to avoid the tariff war with China. And all the people in there were wearing a mask over their face. And I said, Donnie, is that to avoid the lint while they're working in the clothing factory? And he said, yeah, I think so. That and maybe the chemical smell. So that would be good. There were several other things too. One of the other things about buying from the thrift store is that you're supporting local jobs and probably a local nonprofit. So Fuquay Guardian Angel does employ a lot of people, more people than you would think. I don't have an exact number, but they do employ a lot of local people to sort the clothes, for intake, to clean the store, to work the cash registers, to put the clothes out in the store. It's a fairly large thrift store, as you've seen, and it's local money. So your money, instead of going to Walmart, which goes to some big corporation for the actual clothing somewhere, when you buy used, your money is going to support people in your local town, and it's also going to support a good nonprofit organization, whether it be jobs or whatever. Also, there are a lot of organizations out there that look to help people that are trying to find a job dress for the job interview. So if you donate your old suits or skirts or work clothes or shirts or whatever, polo shirts, anything that helps somebody to dress nicely for an interview, you're giving a person that might not otherwise have a chance at being successful at that interview an opportunity to interview. Because, you know, a lot of the jobs, you got to look nice for the interview, but the clothes you wear after that, maybe not so much. Or maybe you need a whole week's worth of professional clothes. And there are, people can either A, go in and find these things themselves if they have the means, or there are groups out there that take donations to help folks go be successful on interviews. So that's another really positive reason why you should donate your stuff to the thrift store in your area. You can Google the statistics for how much textiles or clothing end up in the landfill each year, but I found one source that says 21 billion. And then it also added that some of the items that are donated never make it into the thrift store, which is certainly possible. I know that Guardian Angel recycles the clothes that they are not able to sell. They have a way they mark the clothing so that you know how long it's been on the rack. And if it's been on the rack for over 4 to 6 weeks or some amount of time, I think it's pretty much monthly, they pull it and they bag it up. And some of that clothing is sent overseas to places that need it, where there's poverty or disaster relief kind of things. And some of it is actually recycled textiles. So they do something with the fabrics and they recycle them into new products. At no time does the clothing from this store end up in the landfill because they couldn't sell it. So they do handle it properly. That might be a question to ask the thrift store in your town. What do they do with the clothes they can't sell? It needs to be a good story on that end too, right? Because if all we're doing is dropping it off at the thrift store and then it just ends up in the landfill 2 months later anyway, then that's not a good story. Guardian Angel does not do that. I've talked with them about it before. And I guess lastly for now, because I'm running out of what I can remember in my head without having written it all down, is that anytime you buy stuff from the thrift store, and this goes for clothing as well as obviously other products like, say, household goods or children's toys, is that you are saving packaging. So if I go to Guardian Angel and I buy dishes from them and I bring them home, I'm saving the cardboard that had to protect the dishes at Walmart in the box, and then the box, all the boxes were sent in, and the pallet they were on, and all of that stuff. So I'm saving a lot of packaging. Same thing with toys. You know how hard toys can be to get into at Christmas time when you're trying to help kids on Christmas morning. It can take 15 minutes to get into some of these toys. There's screws and twist ties and cardboard and plastic, and you got this huge overflowing trash can after Christmas. Well, of course, we want the kids to have something new that they really want. But throughout the year when we're buying things at the thrift store, every time Johnny buys a Hot Wheels car, we're saving the little clear plastic and the piece of cardboard on the back of the car. It just goes in the trash right away and it's not really necessary. So think about all the packaging that's also not ending up in the landfill. And
when I do buy a new Hot Wheels or Matchbox car, or for that matter any other brand, usually I turn the picture of the car into a bookmark.
Yeah, really cool. So it doesn't just end up in the trash. And plus here at our house, if we did throw the cardboard away, we would be at least recycling the cardboard. I remembered one more good one. So when you go to Guardian Angel or another thrift store and you buy a piece of clothing, a pair of blue jeans, a shirt or whatever, it's probably been through the wash a couple of times already. Sometimes they have new stuff, but the used clothing's typically been through the wash. So it didn't shrink, it didn't fade, the fabric didn't pill up, that it held its shape. So it's kind of a proven winner. I know in the Model X with the white seats that buying jeans that have been through the wash 5, 10 times, 15 times is a positive to make sure there's no ink rub off on the seat. So I think used blue jeans are great. They're actually more comfortable probably if they've been washed a few times. So there's also that. So hopefully I've given you some compelling things that if you had not ever ventured into a thrift store, you would consider it. Or you would give a little bit more thought about, even if you didn't want to do clothes, some household goods like silverware and plates and knickknacks and things like that to avoid the packaging and the extra manufacturing. And plus it's fun. It's like a treasure hunt all the time. And, you know, it can just be a lot of fun. Yeah, in our town, I think people get the idea and they, donation dock back here behind Guardian Angel is busy all the time. So I saw on Facebook today that they had a special bicycle sale out front. $7, $11, and $21 depending on the size and quality of the bike. And they said, we've got too many to move them back inside, come and grab them. And of course they still have the usual ones over here on the sidewalk too. So I saw Miss Laura. She runs Guardian Angel, sitting out there under the tent in the heat trying to sell the bikes today. So she's definitely gets her hands dirty over here and is working hard all of the time to make this nonprofit a success. Seriously, look at all the great bikes to choose from. And kids, when they're this size, they don't fit on that bike very long. You could get that bike today for $7 or $11. I mean, really? They've even got a Schwinn and a Columbia here for an adult. Raleigh, Schwinn, another Raleigh. They've got some nice bikes. Even if you needed spare parts, you could afford to buy the bike. I just ordered Johnny a couple of brand new green tote bags, travel bags for his trip to New York next week. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find one at Guardian Angel over the past 3 or 4 months that I thought would work. They get a lot of Stampin' Up! Stamps here at this thrift. And I already have a huge collection. But you know, these are usually like, ones this size would be $8, $10 at Michael's. They're really affordable here. I prefer to drink out of glass, but this is so cute, and it's official Starbucks merchandise too. I don't know, it's only 79 cents. Should I get it? Don't touch the dust that's protecting the furniture. It's more like don't touch the dust because then I'll have to dust. Johnny looking at tech. They say this is a vintage radio as is. Doesn't work just for decor, $79. That's a nice cabinet. I bet Mr. Don could fix it. Johnny had the smart idea of coming around back and seeing what it looked like on the back side. And in that whole big case, that's it. An antique display case, that's antique. Ruby says it's 93 out there, but it feels like 103 today. Miss Laura and them are now packing the bikes back up. I think they, you know, it's getting near the end of the day and they've been out in the heat long enough.
So we're here at our local Home Depot and look what you know. 2 Ryobi electric riding mowers with low maintenance, battery operated, and up to 2 hours of runtime.
On 2 acres of land.
Yep.
Some people have already taken off for the next raid location. We just stopped to do this one really fast on our way back to the house, and Johnny is talking to Kelly and her husband Rob while I'm catching for everybody. All right, over here at South Park now. Johnny's back out of the car even in the heat to see Kelly, and I'm battling on 3 accounts in the car. It's too I just can't give up on the chance for a shiny.
Hey, pretty girl.
And Johnny's back here too.
Hello.
We are headed over to Kyle and Ben's for dinner with friends, and then we're going to help film a segment of their podcast. They are launching a podcast series as well as some of the videos they've been putting up lately, so we're very excited to get a chance to participate in that. Well, these lucky guys up here, they're getting a little bit of a rain shower. It is not raining in Fuquay. an amazing evening of EV talk.
Yeah.
Both over dinner, during the official podcast recording, and after dinner when we had dessert. So it was just amazing. Now you're going to have to wait a little while to hear it because Kyle is trying to queue up a few episodes cushion before he starts releasing them. But I think it'll be really cool when it gets out there. What do you think, Donnie?
Yeah, I agree. I very much enjoyed it. And, Kyle and Ben did a great job hosting it. We were very comfortable. They asked good questions, and I think we, told them our real thoughts on things. And we had a discussion on a very wide-ranging topics related to electric vehicles.
Yep, I totally agree. It was a lot of fun.